When you think just about I, me and mine, your mind becomes very narrow. I, me, mine, very small. This whole world is there, but you are not thinking about it. This whole universe is there, you are not thinking about it. You are only thinking about I, me and mine. Very small, tunnel vision. And within that tunnel vision, even if you have little problem, you think, oh, this is such a big problem. You see? This is such a big problem. Why me? Of all the people in the world, why me? You see? In this way, you suffocate yourself. This is all due to thinking, And because of this too much tension and thinking, you are not even able to breathe properly, you see. That's the problem. That's the problem. But if you think more about others, not just yourself alone, open your mind, open the inner door, as we say in Buddhism. It is not that you have no suffering, no problem, but you have suffering, you have problem, but because of your changed attitude, you will suffer less. I'll give you yet another example. Let us say there are two people who are suffering from strong migraine headache. Same intensity. Two people suffering from migraine headache with same intensity. In terms of physical illness, same intensity, same migraine headache. But in terms of mental perspective, mental attitude, let us say they are totally different. So let us examine this. How does this make difference to their experience of the headache? So let us say the first person with the migraine headache, let us say he is a positive mental outlook. So if he is, when he gets this migraine headache, he will start questioning, why am I getting this migraine headache? Maybe I got less sleep. Maybe I took some beer or wine last night before sleeping. Or maybe I'm hungry because headache comes due to many things. Or maybe I'm tired. So if he's tired, he will sleep, take rest. If he's hungry, he will eat food. Or he will go to hospital to take some medicine. He will take all the needed treatments. And then if he's a practitioner, say Buddhist, he will say, oh, this is good. Because I must have done something bad, so the fruit is now ripening and purifying. It's good. If he's a Christian, he might think, oh, there must be some reason, because it's God's creation, whatever, you see. So what I'm saying is he will cultivate this positive mental outlook. And when his friends come, he is having this big headache, but still he will try to smile and laugh. Sit down, please, Then they will help him. Okay, you are having headache. Okay, we'll help you, make tea, food, whatever, So all this changes his attitude, and that lessens his actual experience of the headache. Now in the other case, the person who had a negative mental outlook, because of his negative mental outlook, first thing he will say is, why of all the people I am getting this headache? As I said earlier, if he is a Buddhist, he might say, where is Buddha's compassion? I am suffering from headache. If he is a Christian, he might say, why the God created this headache on me? Unfair. And if friends come to see him and try to talk to him, he says, get lost. I am dying with this headache and you are just here to disturb me. Get lost. He will refuse to eat food, refuse to go to hospital to take medicine. So the headache increases. See, it's medically now found that people who have more positive mental outlook, they're able to digest their food better, medicine better, able to take rest better. So your mental attitude is the key thing. Therefore it talks about mind training. It's not talking about physical training. All the Buddhist teachings, they don't talk about physical exercise. I mean, there in tantric practice, there are some yoga, some physical exercises, but otherwise it's all mind training. In today's modern world, everybody is jogging, physical exercise, stretching, pulling, pushing, whatever. This is good, but what about the mind, which never gets any training, which never gets any food? For the body, we take so much care. We take so many different types of medicines, the food and everything, vitamins, so many things. But for the mind, what did you give? We hardly give anything. The mind is starving. For the last many years, you didn't give any spiritual food. So therefore, mind training. And mind training is especially important because, as I said, your husband is not your boss. Your wife is not your boss. Who is your boss? Your mind. Your mind is your boss, not your body. Your mind, which is non-physical, shapeless, colorless, kind of pure energy. But it's the mind which is dictating you all the time. Go there, don't go there, sit there, don't sit there, talk to this man, don't talk to this man. Who is deciding all this? Your mind. So our mind is our boss. That's not a big problem. The problem is the mind, which is our boss, is predominantly stupid. Not wise, not intelligent. That's the problem. So it is equal to saying that how about if you're ruled by a despot, a dictator? You see? Will the people really enjoy? They'll not be able to enjoy anything. I mean, freedom, they have to say yes sir, all the time, You cannot live like a human being. So that's the problem. When the mind which is controlling you is predominantly stupid and negative and unwise, that's the problem. If you're ruled by a person who is not intelligent, who is violent, then definitely there's a big problem. So therefore, when in Buddhism, when we talk about Buddhist practice, we are primarily talking about changing this leader. Just like in the election, somebody who has been your president or prime minister for many years and not doing good job, then they will throw you, either through a military coup or through election. Right now in Rwanda, they are having this military coup. It was not successful, so they are fighting now. Right now, that's the hot news. So therefore, the mind, which is your boss, which decides your fate, your everything, has to be one with wisdom, with love, with compassion, with affection. So therefore, when you do the Dharma practice, you are actually electing a new leader. Get rid of the mind with the negative emotions and elect a mind with positive emotions. I mean, we are going to read this text tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and so forth. But the essence is what I'm saying, what I've said already. So there's a lot to practice. There's a lot to practice. So the thing that we need to do is very simple in a way. We all know that there is a positive emotion, there are negative emotions. There is anger, there is patience. So which would you prefer? I found that most of you are not Buddhist. That doesn't matter. But as a human being, as a sensible human being, which would you prefer? Anger or patience? Huh? Are you sure? Everybody sure? Patience is better or anger is better? Huh? So these are things, we need to think carefully. It's not important what you say right now. But the important thing is you need to really, in your daily life, you need to think carefully. For example, anger. So therefore, when you do this mind training practice, the first and most important thing that you need to do is you should find out which of these negative emotions. You have many, of course. You are very rich with negative emotions. We are all very rich with negative emotions. But we need to, we don't have the capacity to deal with all these negative emotions. But what we need to do is to find out which of these many negative emotions, which one has the predominant presence in you. Out of all the negative emotions, if you are somebody who has more anger, then you have to deal with that, because that is going to destroy you. If you have, if you are prone to more attachment, then you need to deal with that first. At least lessen the intensity of that negative emotion. So this you need to do by using your common sense and your personal experience. For example, in our case, we all have a lot of experience with anger. So based on your own personal experience so far, you can reflect back and play the movie on which of the days and years I got angry. What was the fruit? What was the sin I created? We need to think like that. Then it will become very clear. The interesting thing is that there is nobody who will write in the morning mega motivation saying that today I will get angry. Is there anybody who will write in the morning mega motivation thinking that today I will get angry? Is there anybody? No. Why? Because we have some idea anger is not so good. But in the day, in your workplace, because of the circumstances, situations, or strange people, you get angry. You might pick a fight. But then, at the end of the day, when you come home, reflect back and realize that you fought with somebody, is there anybody who will say that I fought with somebody, I was very angry today, so therefore I really enjoyed the day. I was very angry today, so I really enjoyed the day. Is there anybody who says things like that? I don't think so. Not only that, because of that anger, that fight, not only you had an unpleasant experience in the day, but it's also very probable in the night also you will fight again. In the dream also you will fight again. So in this way, this leaves an imprint, forms a habit, so that you fight in the day, fight in the night, fight in the future lives. This is how it goes on. That's called cycle of karma and its effects. See? Do you remember any occasion when you fought with somebody in the day and fought again in the dream in the night? This is how the karma works. Right now we do something and then after we die also we repeat that because you have formed a habit. Imprint means habit. And that die-hard habit continues. That's how we get entrapped in the samsara, in the cycle of existence. We have certain habits which is very difficult to shun. That's why we need to listen to the teaching, listen to the Dharma, and at least make an attempt to change our way of thinking. This die-hard habit is very difficult to change because most of the time, even when you listen to the teaching, you will hear only what you want to hear, not those which you should hear. Even in our ordinary daily life, we keep on seeing so many things, but most of the time, we see those things which we want to see, not what we should be seeing. That's why we don't make any progress, don't make any development. So therefore, what is important now is that you should maintain an impartial mind, unbiased mind, to be able to see the truth, whether you like it or not. It's not a question of your liking or not liking somebody. You need to be a good watcher a good witness to everything that is happening. Maintain that awareness, honestly, impartially, and then be able to see the reality as it is. Not the reality which you have exaggerated, which you have belittled, but the reality as it is. That's a big job, very difficult job. Okay? So therefore in Buddhism, what you primarily do is use your common sense. And for most of us, we have already a lot of knowledge, not necessarily through any particular teaching, but through our own life's experience. We have a lot of knowledge. But still, we are unable to practice. Even after knowing that this is not so good, you go on doing it. You keep on doing it. Even if it is suffering, but if you are habituated with that suffering and that conditioning, you feel like continuing with it. You see? So therefore you need to have some kind of, let some fresh air come in your mind. Mahatma Gandhi used to say that in order to get good knowledge and education, open the doors and windows of your mind. So we need to open the doors and windows of our mind to let that fresh news of the way things are come in our mind. So reality in Buddhism, the focus is on understanding the reality and then changing one's attitude, way of thinking, or harmonizing one's attitude in accordance with the reality. Harmony. Harmony is a very important issue. We talk so many times about harmony between different communities and so forth. But there should be harmony between your body and your mind. There should be harmony between what you think and what you say and what you do. Like for example, when somebody plays a musical instrument, if that person knows how to play properly, when all the strings and everything there is in harmony, then it produces music. If they are not in harmony, for example, if a monkey plays a guitar, he can also strike the chords, but he has no idea how to bring all the elements in that instrument in harmony. So therefore the monkey will not be able to produce music. So in your life also, if there is harmony between your body and mind, your thinking and what you do, then there will be music. There will be peace and happiness. You see. So harmony in accordance with the law of nature is important. Now look at the law of nature. Look at the law of nature. Like for example, this flower, beautiful flowers. How does it grow? If it gets all the needed causes and conditions, like seed, water, warmth, heat, moisture, air, when all these are there, they are in harmony, then the flower blossoms, flourishes. But if there is disharmony in some of these necessary causes and conditions, either it will not flourish, it could even die. The same is with us. There's a natural law that's applicable to all of us. So therefore, mind training basically means two things. One, cultivate your mind in accordance with the reality, the way things are. Two, mind training means that since you wanted that long-lasting peace and happiness, you need to find out what is the long-lasting source for peace and happiness. That long-lasting source and peace for happiness is within yourself, number one. Number two, if you take care of others more than yourself, that will bring to you the long-lasting peace and happiness. So therefore, mind training here primarily means two things. One, remove that self-obsession. Sometimes we use the word self-cherishing attitude, self-obsession, as I already explained. replace it with a mind which cherishes the well-being of others more than yourself. Second, we have this obsession with the things which do not have independent, objective existence, but we end up thinking that they have independent, objective existence. That's an obsession, which is not true in accordance with the reality. The reality is everything is interdependent, interconnected reality. There's a reality, we all know that. Countries are dependent on each other, our body and mind are dependent on each other, we are dependent on the environment. There's a complex network of interdependency in each and every sphere. We need to respect that interdependency and live our life in accordance with it. So these are the two crucial points that all the Buddhist teachings are talking about, and the mind training texts are talking about. Clear? Some questions?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
You speak a lot about the self.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Mm.
And then in the other part you were talking about taking care about other people and not thinking too much about yourself. So I have a small contradiction.
There's no contradiction. Which is the contradiction?
You don't have, I still have. I am just...
Tell me, which one is?
like the logic process.
Yeah, because I said,
It's difficult for me to try to adjust those two parts.
Because we all have very strong obsession with the self. So therefore, when we talk about caring more about others than oneself, we don't feel, comfortable, you see. Because we always think, okay, I should take care about myself, taking care about others is their business, not mine. See, we may not say it, but it is there in our mind. So what I am saying is, there is a self, therefore you need to take care of it. And the best way of taking care of it is not obsession with the self, but taking more care about others. The more you take care of others, as a byproduct you are taking care of. It means like making more friendship. The more friends you have, the more you are taking good care of yourself.
But then sometimes we say, like you feel you forget yourself, like when you give...
No, I'm not saying forget yourself, no. Not forgetting yourself. Okay? But all I'm saying is remove this obsession. Obsession. Yeah. Okay? We have a lot of time for question answers on the last time, but you can ask questions right now also. Because what we are here not for a ceremonial gathering, We need to tackle our brain, ask questions. And that's not to say that you ask questions and I have all the answers. No. We need to find the answers somehow. Okay, so that's the point, yeah.
You said to remove the obsession, so how you remove the obsession?
Remove the obsession by knowing the reality. Knowing the reality. Is it better to just think about oneself alone, or it's better not to just think about oneself alone, but also think about others? Which one is better? So when you realize that it's not a good idea to think just about oneself, but also it's better to think about others, then that removes the obsession. Right now we may say it, we may not say it, but there is a strong obsession, you see. Very strong obsession. For example, if there is lightning, it's about to rain and lightning, the first thing we think is, oh, the lightning will fall on my head. Because of obsession. Oh, lightning on my head. Of all the people, on my head. You see? So because of this too much obsession with oneself, you develop all this unnecessary fear. That is not to say not to take care of yourself. You take care of yourself with wisdom, not with obsession. With proper reason, not with the stupid obsession. So normally the way we protect ourselves is ignorance, obsession. The best way of taking care of oneself is with knowledge, with wisdom. What is good for you in the long run? What is good for you in the short term? So you analyze in this way. And then take a step which is best for you for all time to come. That's the way. So you need to cultivate a way of thinking through which you are able to maintain calmness, peace and happiness in all times, in all ups and downs. That's what I'm saying. Because life is not a smooth travel. Okay, it's topsy-turvy. There's too much ups and downs. So those of us who don't have that mind training, when we get some success, we get so excited. Wow, I won the lottery, you see, I'm a millionaire, I'm a billionaire. When you get that success, you get so excited, you almost explode and burst out. Then you become arrogant, you see. Oh, I'm somebody. As soon as you get some money, you get arrogant. As soon as you get some name and fame, you get arrogant. You look down upon others. Even your manner of walking is different, you see. You don't even want to talk to other people. And actually that is the start of your downfall. You see. And then immediately after that, if you hear a bad news, you get completely deflated. The balloon is completely deflated. I am the most unfortunate person. What did I do to experience things like this? The other end, you see. Either you completely inflated like a balloon or completely like a deflated balloon. So the Buddhist teaching says, no, that is not the right way. The right way is, if you get success, okay, you be happy, but don't get too excited. Because tomorrow, bad news is waiting for you. If you get bad news today, you will feel some sadness, but don't get too sad because good news is waiting for you. You see? This is one way of thinking. The other way of thinking is, as I said earlier, the so-called happiness and suffering is very much dependent upon how you see things. When you are able to see things in the right perspective, then suffering is not suffering. Suffering is challenge. Challenge is needed in human life. That gives you an opportunity to experience and to grow. So suffering means challenge. It's an opportunity for you to learn new things. You see? If you are scared of suffering and problems and challenges, there's no opportunity for you to learn anything new. You'll remain the same person. You will never grow, you see. So therefore, your mental perspective, as Shantideva says in his Bodhisattva way of life, if it is something you can change, do not worry, because you can change it. If it is something you cannot change it, no use worrying, because by worrying you can't change it. That's the perspective. That's the perspective. That's the perspective. So that's called mind training. So your happiness and your suffering is in your hand, not in the hand of other people. So you need to have control over yourself. Do not let everybody lead you by your nose. So the real source of peace and happiness is within yourself. And you can find that out, for example, if every morning, if you sit 5 minutes, just watching your breath. If you don't know many complicated meditations, no problem. If you just watch your breath, breath coming out, coming in, coming out, coming in, just watch that for 5 minutes every morning. you will find so much peace, so much happiness. Because by doing that, you are having your mind focused on something which comes from your